What is up, everybody? It's BMax Bracketology, and I am back continuing the series of predicting every single college basketball conference tournament winner. And today, I'm doing the A10, the Atlantic 10, whatever you want to call it. Let's just get into the bracket right away. So this year, it's in Washington, D.C. It used to be in Brooklyn, which I liked a lot more. I don't know. I just felt like that was the A10. Like, that is where I grew up watching the championship. And now they moved it to D.C. Not a huge fan of it, but it's whatever. Games tip off Wednesday, March 12th. Championship is Sunday, March 16th on Selection Sunday. I always like waking up on Selection Sunday and watching the A10 championship. It's kind of like, oh man, is this team really going to be a Cinderella team that I'm going to pick? The A10 is always solid, always has good teams in the tournament. Last year they had Duquesne. VCU's always been historically good. And last year they had Dayton, who won a game. So let's just get into the first game. We got the 12 seed Davidson versus the 13 seed Richmond. Both of these teams just don't do the fundamentals well. They're not good at taking care of the ball. They're not good at rebounding. But Davidson is just a way better shooting team. I just like their players better, honestly. Like, when you just like watch a team and you're just not a fan of them. That's how I feel about Richmond. I watched them a couple times this year. I watched them get clobbered by VCU, but that's understandable just because of how good VCU's been. But outside of that, just don't like Richmond. And I do like Reed Bailey from Davidson. He's a very solid player. Like him a lot. So I'm going to roll with the 12 seed Davidson in this one. And then the next matchup, we got the 10 seed Rhode Island versus the 15 seed Fordham. Fordham is just, they're the 15th team. The best team in this conference for a reason. They're just not very good, guys. Rhode Island, I like their offense a lot, too. I think this Rhode Island team's pretty solid. I'm going to roll with the 10 seed Rhode Island here. And then in the next matchup, we got the 11 seed UMass, Massachusetts, versus the 14 seed LaSalle. LaSalle's led by head coach Fran Dunphy. He's going to retire after this year. All-time legend. He was a great coach at Temple. I'm not sure where he was before, but I think it might have been St. Joseph's. But, he's had a great career. What he's done has been absolutely amazing for this game. Big Philadelphia basketball coach guy. I feel like it'd just be wrong to pick against him. And LaSalle doesn't do a good job oh my gosh, they're just not a good shooting team, and neither is Massachusetts, so I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to take the 14 seed LaSalle in this one. And then in the next matchup, we got the 8 seed St. Bonaventure versus the 9 seed Duquesne. Duquesne's led by Drew Joyce, LeBron James' high school teammate. Fun fact right there. St. Bonaventure is just the tougher team. Duquesne there's nobody that really pops off the board for me for either one of these teams. I think this is going to be a tough duke it out kind of game, and I like the Bonnies in this one. I'm going to roll with the 8 seed St. Bonaventure to win this game. And then in the next matchup, we got the 5 seed St. Louis versus the 12 seed Davidson. Davidson is a very, very good offense, and so is St. Louis. This is going to be a high-scoring game. I really can't see Davidson pulling off this upset just because of Reed Bailey and his ability. But outside of Bailey, I don't love this team. St. Louis, they pretty much took the best person from Indiana State last year. They took Robbie Avila, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, whatever you want to call him. They took oh my gosh, I always get these guys mixed up. Isaiah Swope. I always get Swope and Conwell mixed up. They have Swope. And Gibson Jimerson's a very solid player. I'm just going to roll with the team who has the better offense. I'm going to roll with the 5 seed St. Louis. And then in the next match, we got the 7 seed George Washington versus the 10 seed Rhode Island. Neither one of these teams really pop off the page for me either. Rhode Island shoots the ball better as a team. George Washington is okay at everything. They're just I like Rhode Island's ability to just score, and they get a little warm-up game the day before. I'm going to take the 10 seed Rhode Island to win this one. And then in the final matchup in the second round, we got the 6 seed St. Joseph's versus the 14 seed LaSalle. I kind of talked about Fran Dunphy's career, and unfortunately, I think it's going to end here. The St. Joseph's team's got a big three. I like this team a lot. I'm going to roll with the 6 seed St. Joe's. And then in the first quarterfinal match, we got the 1 seed VCU versus the 8 seed St. Bonaventure. VCU has shown themselves that they have been the best team in this conference. Philip Russell's supposed to play. He hasn't been healthy. He wasn't healthy versus Dayton when they lost. If he's not healthy, that's a big X factor for him. I really like him. But I don't even think it matters if he's healthy or if he's not. I think this VCU team is going to make this St. Bonaventure team uncomfortable. They're so good defensively, and they got studs and Shulga and other players like that who can completely be fine without Russell. I'm going to roll with the 1 seed VCU in this one. And then in the next match, we got the 4 seed Loyola Chicago versus the 5 seed St. Louis. Loyola Chicago led by Jaden Dawson, Omaha guy. Shout out to him. I like this Loyola Chicago team a lot. They play very, very good defense, but the St. Louis offense is so good. I just have a hard time believing that this Loyola Chicago team can keep up with St. Louis on the offensive end. I think Avila, Swope, and Jimerson have a big game, or they have big games. I'm going to roll with the 5 seed St. Louis in this one. And then in the next match, we got the 2 seed George Mason versus the 10 seed Rhode Island. One thing that Rhode Island just doesn't do well is they're just not very good fundamentally. They're a decent shooting team, but turning over the ball, forcing turnovers, all that, getting rebounds, not very good. George Mason is a very, very good rebounding team. I think they're going to crash the glass a lot in this one. I like the Patriots. Give me the 2 seed George Mason to move on. And then in the final quarterfinal match, we got the 3 seed Dayton versus the 6 seed St. Joseph's. Again, I like both of these teams a lot. Dayton has, you saw what they did in Maui. You know what they're capable of. They are a solid team. I like the St. Joe's team a lot too. They're led by their big three in Brown, Reynolds, and oh my gosh, what's his name? Sorry. Fleming. They're led by those three. Those three are their team. And I do like Simpson and Finkley. I do think that they're pretty efficient overall. Dayton, though, don't love this team. Or I do, but I don't love their star power. Santos, I like him. Cheeks, Bennett. They're more of an all-around team as more of a star-heavy team. I think that the way that St. Joseph's plays, the way they play through their big three, I don't think Dayton's going to be able to stop them. So I'm going to roll with the 6 seed St. Joseph's to win this one and move on to the semifinals. And then in the first semifinal match, we got the 1 seed VCU versus the 5 seed St. Louis. I kind of talked about the Philip Russell injury. I think he's going to play. I read a source that said he's going to play. So I really like this VCU team when he's playing. They force a lot of turnovers. They get up and down the court. Very, very efficient shooting team. They just play very, very sound basketball. And St. Louis does not take care of the ball very well. Avila and Swope just not very good at taking care of the ball. I think this VCU team is going to give them a very hard time offensively. St. Louis can easily shoot their way out of this game, but I have a hard time believing that they can do that in a neutral site in a conference tournament setting, especially since it'd be their third game in 3 days. I'm going to roll with the 1 seed VCU to win this one. And then in the next semifinal match, we got the 2 seed George Mason versus the 6 seed St. Joseph's. George Mason relies themselves on rebounding. They're a decent shooting team. They play really, really good defense overall. Not very good at taking care of the ball. That's the one thing. But St. Joseph's isn't going to really implicate that. They're not going to want to force George Mason to turn the ball over. They're more of a laid-back kind of team. But once again, I think the St. Joe's big three is going to be too much in Fleming, Reynolds, and Brown. I'm going to roll with the 6 seed St. Joseph's to go all the way to the championship game. And then in the championship game, we got the 1 seed VCU versus the 6 seed St. Joseph's. I talked about the St. Joe's team. They're built very well for March. They have the star power. They play good defense. They overall take care of the ball. They do the little things right, which is something that really, which I really like about them. They haven't played a lot of good teams heading into this one. They struggled against the top tier opponents in this conference, which I don't love to see. This VCU team is just too good. I'm going to roll with the 1 seed VCU to win this conference, win the A10. This team is built really well for March, guys. They shoot the ball very, very well. They play really good defense. They turn teams over. It's just what they do. Shulga is an absolute stud. So efficient. Jack Clark, really good. Bamisley, very, very good. Jackson, Russell, Fairman off the bench. Bamboyi, he's one of the best shot blockers in the country. He is so good, and he's only a freshman. This team is very senior heavy. They got 5 seniors that start in the starting lineup. This team's ready to go to the NCAA tournament. They have experience. They have everything. They haven't made it to the NCAA tournament since 2023. They fell just short last year, losing to Duquesne, and they ended up winning the 2023 Atlantic 10 Championship against Dayton in 2023. I really like this team. They're built well for March. This is a team to watch out for, guys. If Shulga's on his game, you might want to say goodnight because of how good their defense is. Ryan Odom has done an excellent job since taking over this VCU program. So I'm going to roll with the 1 seed VCU to win this one. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is the A10. I realistically do think that there are a lot of different teams that can win this conference. This conference is always good. Make sure you tune into this. Love everything about this conference. There's nothing better than turning on USA Network and watching some good quality A10 basketball. That's all I got for you guys today. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you get notifications of every time I post. That's all I got for you guys today. BMX Bracketology out. God bless everyone.